is filleting China from day one. He has not been able to say no to anything that they have asked of him. And it just goes from bad to worse. So, for example, electric cars, they store a lot of data because they're electric, right? So in order to tell them where to go, there's a lot of GPS data based on who's driving the cars, right? And Elon Musk agreed to store all of that information in mainland China, essentially making it available to the Chinese Communist Party. And we know what they do with that information. They use it for surveillance. They use it to target civil rights activists, human rights activists, any dissidents, anybody who says anything they don't like. He has made groveling apologies to Chinese consumers who don't like the car if something goes wrong with a Tesla car. He has tweeted things like China rocks, and, on the centennial of the Chinese Communist Party, some really disgusting praise for, this human rights abusive genocidal regime. And the worst part of it is he built a showroom for Tesla in Xinjiang. Now, the Xinjiang region is where there is an actual genocide of Uyghur Muslims happening. There's over 1 million Muslims who are in detention, who, the images, they are literally like out of the Holocaust, people being, put on trains, nobody knows to where, having their heads shaved, mass sterilization. There's been reports of sexual abuse en masse, gang rapes of men and women in these prisons. And if you look at the birth rates of Uyghur Muslims, they have been forced sterilized. So they are literally committing an actual genocide in Xinjiang. Now, Elon Musk didn't build a showroom for Tesla in Xinjiang because there's a market for electric cars there among the Uyghur Muslims. He did it to signal that he is standing by this regime in the very location of its worst human rights abuses. And I just find that to be unbelievably disgusting. I mean, the whole point of being a billionaire is so you can tell genocidal regimes to go F themselves. And I'm sorry, my language is like so extreme for me, but this is such the right is supposed to be the side that stands up to China, the China hawks. And yet you have this billionaire who has literally never said no to the Chinese Communist Party, who is making all of his money there now. Quarter of sales are being made now in China. And then he comes here and he tweets at a few, senators. He acts like some bad boy when he's in total compliance to China. And I find that disparity to be truly ugly and cynical. And I just don't believe a word of what he says about human rights and about a free speech, right, which is a human rights issue. And to me, all that's happened, if he buys Twitter, I mean, obviously he might sort of not end up doing it, but if he buys Twitter, what will happen is China will then have immense leverage over what is essentially our public square. And call me crazy. I don't want that. I never downloaded TikTok onto my phone because
Same.
I don't want the Chinese Communist Party knowing anything about me. And now essentially that's what we've done. We've ceded control to them, and the right is celebrating it. That's my there's sort of other reasons that I'm hesitant to celebrate, but that to me is really the big one.
That was